Hey guys, Disciplined Magic here, and if you're wondering why my last video just disappeared, it's because I purposely left it up for about 12 hours so people could see it. It got 2,000 views, and then before anybody could effectively flag it, I deleted it. Because, you know, borderline depends upon what YouTube moderator sees it. Of course, it's July 4th, so most of them aren't working. Wonder if that was on purpose. Anyway, the message is out there, people get it, go have some fun. Make it a real happy 4th of July for everybody. Anyway, on with this video. Hey guys, Disciplined Magic here, and once again, July 2nd, 2018, the MTG finance community, or really just the most stupid members of it, have made the same mistake for, what would this even be, the 24th time in a row? Something in that neighborhood. Everyone you'll ever talk to will deny this up and down, but every time an unban announcement is coming around, people buy up this stupid card, Stoneforge Mystic. And the reasoning behind that is they think it will get unbanned from Modern. Well, first of all, was it ever really truly banned in Modern? Not really. It was like pre-banned. It was put on the ban list as Modern was invented. So, I mean, okay, I guess their logic here is it was pre-banned as a precaution. It was never proven to be broken. It never ruined Modern, so it's the most likely to get unbanned, right? No, wrong. That is incorrect. So first of all, let's look at the card here. It's a 2-cost 1/2, so nothing special there. Core Artificer, so what? The key lies in the abilities. So when Stoneforge Mystic enters the battlefield, you may search your library, so just straight up 2-cost fetch, for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. But wait, there's more. Because, I mean, you go get some 5-cost equipment, you gotta pay for it anyway, right? Not broken. Oh, wait, you pay 2, tap her, and you may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. Well, you're probably thinking, yeah, but you still have to equip it, so what's the big deal? Once again, the Phyrexians ruined it for everyone because no, you don't. So before I start throwing up a couple cards that are like literally the reason that this will never be unbanned, let's look at the reasoning. So Blake Rasmussen on February 3rd, 2015 made an article describing basically every ban up until that point and why it happened. Just in Modern, by the way. So on August 2011, the following cards were banned. Ancestral Vision, Bitter Blossom, Dread Return, Glimpse of Nature, Golgari Grave Troll, Hypergenesis, Jace the Mind Sculptor, should have stayed banned, Mental Misstep, should never have been banned, Stoneforge Mystic, Valakut the Molten Pinnacle, and Sensei's Divining Top. Don't even get me started on Sensei. So the explanation that he put is created shortly before Pro Tour Philadelphia, Modern kicked off with a banned list that was created in large part based on Legacy play, the old extended format, which is the precursor to Modern, and decks played at the Community Cup that year. So a quote from the original announcement article that announced these cards being banned, it said, "We used 2 criteria to guide us in choosing what cards to ban. First, we have a rule of thumb about Legacy that we don't like consistent turn 2 combination decks." Let me just pause for a second. Everybody memorize that sentence, because I have been told many times when I quote it, literally word for word, that I'm wrong. Like I'm literally reading a statement from Wizards of the Coast and I'm wrong. It's not even my statement. They don't like turn 2 combo decks. They freaking love them in Commander though. So the full statement is, first, we have a rule of thumb about Legacy that we don't like consistent turn 2 combination decks, but that turn 3 combination decks are okay. I'm going to read between the lines and say that's because they're disruptible then. We modified that rule for Modern by adding a turn to each side. We are going to allow turn 4 combination decks, but not decks that consistently win the game on turn 3. And they re-quoted that exact quote and reiterated the same point when they banned Summer Bloom. Really, the only thing wrong with that deck is it won on turn 3 a little tiny bit too often. It was a long shot, but people could do it. And by people, I mean people who stack their deck and cheat and hide cards and swap them and, you know. People were not relying on luck at these tournaments to get this combo off and win on turn 3. Let's just put it that way. So Modern is a turn 4 format. If you see somebody saying that Modern is not a turn 4 format, point them to this quote, or the other 50 times that somebody quoted it on social media or in an official announcement on their own website. I am seriously really sick of people saying that that's incorrect. So, Stoneforge should be unbanned. It was never proven to be broken in Modern. It never ruined Modern. Give it a chance, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no, because, I mean, people do play it in Legacy. That's the thing. It's in some sort of obscure decks, but I've even seen it added to Death and Taxes. Gee, maybe you've heard of that deck. And there's, a rather obscure deck called Stoneblade. I mean, they literally named it Stoneblade. In my opinion, it's not a very good deck. It's a bit of a long shot and it's overcosted for what it does, but, still, you look at what's in it and you're like, yeah, okay. I mean, it is appropriate for Legacy. The problem is, and now Wizards never directly said this, but with their statement, I think we can put together the fact that, okay, the most important, combo pieces with Stoneforge Mystic that are in the Legacy decks that win really quickly are legal in Modern. So we either have to ban them, which would be, not so fair because people play them, or ban Stoneforge Mystic, because it's so wide open and so generic. Now, it does matter that you would still have to pay the equip costs, but, I'll get to that in a second. I mean, you guys know that there's ways to equip equipment without paying the equip cost. So specific problem number 1, Batterskull, living weapon. And it's not even Batterskull, it's just living weapon, that's the problem. It was an interesting idea. It wasn't inherently broken. I mean, it was kind of cool where you're not just stuck holding some equipment, because what happens is when this equipment enters battlefield, put a 0/0 black germ creature token onto the battlefield, then attach this to it. Basically for free. You don't have to pay the equip cost. So, oh no, I have this awesome equipment and they blew up all my creatures. I just lost. Oh, why even build an equipment deck? That's going a little far with it, but yeah, this just, okay, free equip. Cool. I mean, it's a 0/0. Like, if you were to put this on a 3/3 creature, it would clearly be better. It's just like a little consolation prize for you getting your entire board destroyed. So, equipped creature has +4/+4 and vigilance and lifelink. Ooh, now that's pretty appropriate for a 5 cost equip 5, I mean, damn. And then, it's so important, like, you really want it out and it's a mythic, that you can pay 3 and return it to its owner's hand. So if they're about to target it with something, boom, it's back. So you drop something that generates white, and then anything. Simian Spirit Guide, just whatever. Okay, cool, you have 2 mana on turn 1. I mean, you guys know that's not that difficult in Modern. So turn 1 Stoneforge Mystic, let's even say you went first. So it's your opponent's turn 0, and you go into your library and get a Batterskull. So you didn't even have to have these 2 cards in your opening hand or draw into it. You can just go get this. So you could actually just be running one of it, which is typically what the Legacy decks do. Unless you get a Flicker Stoneforge, you only need 1. So you can't probably drop it out yet. I mean, she doesn't have haste. You have to generate 2 more mana. I can't think of a way to do that. So your opponent takes their turn 1, and then you go back to your turn 2. Boom, you pay 2, tap it, and Batterskull's in. So your opponent's turn 1 and your turn 2, you have a 4/4 Vigilant Lifelinker. Okay, that honestly makes Tarmogoyf look like crap, and that's a $100 card. I mean, they can't swing. They can't swing with anything. They are done swinging. Okay, it doesn't have haste, but, they're not going to win with creatures at this point. So I know everybody's about to say, yeah, but you can just destroy it. I mean, Fatal Push, it has no CMC. Oh, yes, a 1/1 Death Toucher would shut this down. I mean, yes, there are ways to deal with this. There are ways to deal with Progenitus, okay? I'm not saying that this is, the end of the game. Oh, yeah, Stoneforge, complete lockout jail deck, sure. Well, let's follow your logic here, because I get this comment all the time when I say something's just too powerful. And then everybody posts, but you can stop it with this. Okay, so they print a 50/50 Death Touch Trampler Vigilant Lifelink, and it costs 0, and it's colorless. Oh yeah, but 1 removal spell, I mean, just one Essence Scatter. That's not the point. It's too early, it's too powerful, it's too good. That's all there is to it. I don't care if it's stoppable. Wizards doesn't care if it's stoppable. Your opponent doesn't care if it's stoppable. You shouldn't have to stop something that early and that good. It's too early, and it's too good. I mean, that's really the end of it. So this combo alone is basically why Stoneforge Mystic is banned. But let's look at some more. Cranial Plating, because you could dump out a bunch of 0-cost artifacts just from your opening hand and do some degenerate stuff. It's more of a long shot than the last combo. But it doesn't have to be in your opening hand. I mean, you get a free fetch. It's kind of like a free 8th card that you're starting the game with as long as Stoneforge is there. So you dump out a bunch of 0-cost crap, and then you go get Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe turn 1, turn 2, doesn't really matter. And then you can either hard cast it for 2 or free cast it for 2. It really doesn't matter. Then you equip it for 1, 2 Stoneforge, and then swing with it. Or an Ornithopter, it doesn't really matter. I mean, in fact, that would be flying. So theoretically, with acceleration, which I think would be unnecessary, but you get turn 1 Stoneforge. Turn 2 Cranial and swinging for, well, if you could generate the extra equip mana. You'd be swinging for, what, 4, 5, 6, I mean, 7, I don't know. Seems like a bit of an all-in combo, and if they destroy this, you're in trouble, but you could re-equip it for 1, that's the thing. So if you just dumped out a bucket of Ornithopters, damn. So, I mean, that seems like a bit much. I mean, big surprise, people hate Artifact Affinity and Pseudo-Artifact Affinity, because this doesn't literally say Affinity for Artifacts. So in Legacy, what else is this played with? Well, Umezawa's Jite, or however the hell you say that, which is currently banned in Modern, so, I mean, okay. But this is an example of how out-of-control stuff could get. It is a 2-drop, and you could drop it in for 2 with Stoneforge, so it doesn't matter, it's just you could auto-fetch it, that's the problem. And then it is equip cost 2, okay, so you're looking at like turn 4, but when the equipped creature deals combat damage, you put 2 charge counters on this, and then you may remove one of them at any time. No tap, nothing, no sorcery speed, none of that. Choose one. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, so basically +4/+4 on the next swing, automatic. And target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, so recurring removal, ouch, and you gain 2 life. I mean, that's insane. This card definitely deserves to be banned. So thankfully that's not a factor. But it's just an example of how crazy stuff can get if you can consistently say, every time Stoneforge is into my opening hand, I also have this card. So what else are people saying? They, it's not an instant broken, oh, turn 3, ooh, you're dead, whatever, but they just wouldn't want it to be a one-of automatic fetch in a Modern deck. Sword of Fire and Ice. So it is a 3-drop 2 to equip that you could drop in for 2 by tapping Stoneforge. I mean, whatever. Not that great, it's just the problem is you would consistently be able to go get this, and it's +2/+2 protection from red and blue. And then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and then you draw a card. I mean, damn, good card. But arguably better is the Sword of War and Peace. You guys know there's multiple of these. I mean, this is the last one I'm going to show. But equipped creature gets +2/+2, pro-red, pro-white. Now that's like, people play that. People would try to target your creature with that. Still, they can do it in response to you attempting to equip it, so, not the end of the world. But when it deals combat damage to a player, it deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in his or her hand. Ouch. And you gain 1 life for each card in your hand. Ouch. You would not want to consistently and early have this on the field on something. Another one of my personal favorites, Godsend. I absolutely love this artifact. It's pretty much my favorite equipment in the entire history of the game. So normally it's a 3-drop with double white, but its equip cost is 3 generic. So that's very important. I mean, you do have to put white into Stoneforge Mystic's ability, but not double white. And you shave off 1 from the cost there. So equipped creature gets +3/+3, and when equipped creature blocks or becomes blocked, so either attack or blocking, by 1 or more creatures, you may exile 1 of those creatures, let me add, before combat resolves. The trigger goes on the stack in response to them declaring a blocker or whatever. But wait, there's more. Opponents can't cast cards with the same name as cards exiled with Godsend. Equip 3. So it is equip 3, but I mean, you drop out Stoneforge turn 1, which, okay, maybe turn 2. It just depends if you have that extra mana. Turn 2, drop this in for free. Turn 3, equip it. And then, if they only took their turn 2, you're swinging for a lot with that +3/+3. And if they're stupid enough to block, I mean, the only way to really kill a creature in combat that has Godsend equipped is to double block it and make both of them capable of killing the creature. It would either have to be 2 Death Touchers or 2 enormous creatures, like unreasonably enormous for Modern. In most cases, a Tarmogoyf wouldn't be able to block this, and if they did, you better have 2 of them. If it's their turn 3 and your turn 2, you probably don't have a, 5/4 Tarmogoyf out. So this would be pretty oppressive. Once again, 1 single removal spell and they're in deep trouble, but then again, they could just equip it to the next creature for 3. And honestly, you could almost add Forebear's Blade from Standard to this list. But it gets worse. There are multiple ways to equip equipment for free. I'm not going to throw up every example of how to do that in Modern and how realistic it is and what its mana cost is to analyze it. Let's just settle on it can be done. Obviously a bit slower, but what would be the payoff? Well, Argentenum Armor. So you use her ability to drop it off for 2, and then you equip it for free to something. Let's just say it's like a creature where you drop it in, and then when it drops into the battlefield, you can equip 1 piece of equipment to it for free. I think there's a couple of those out there. So equipped creature gets +6/+6, and whenever it attacks, destroy target permanent. Oh, I mean, we're talking like a 3-card combo at this point, but not really, because every time you play Stoneforge, you would go get 1 Argentenum Armor. And you're not running 4 of it because you only need to fetch 1, so it's not a boat anchor in your opening hand if you don't have Stoneforge, because it's probably not in your opening hand if you're running 1 of. Okay, what else we got? Oh god, Elbrus the Binding Blade. I hate this thing. It's a flip card, by the way, so that's why I got 2 of them up here. It costs 7. Just kidding, it costs 2. And you know what? You wouldn't even have to equip it for free. I don't know why it's even on this list. Equip it for 1. You just don't have to pay the 7. I just legitimately forgot to mention this earlier. So equipped creature gets +1/+0. So that's just devastating right there. And also, one equipped creature deals combat damage to a player. Unattach Elbrus the binding. I always say blinding. It's binding blade. Then transform it. What does it turn into, you may ask? I already have it up on screen. Why would you ask that? Withengar Unbound. Flying, Intimidate, Trample, 13/13. And this is just stupid. Why not? Run it in Modern. It would be funny. When a player loses the game, put 13 1/1 counters on Withengar Unbound. You know I would do it. It's not even legal to still resolve a trigger after your opponent's lost, but I would still do it. So you could have a 13/13 on, I believe, turn 3 would be theoretically doable. I think you would need 2 Simian Spirit Guides. You would like burn out your whole hand, but it's doable. It's one ridiculous long shot, but it's doable. Otherwise, turn 4, hell yeah, that's doable. I mean, that's like what you would do. And then there's even like more subtle stuff, maybe like a second fetch if you dropped in another Stoneforge Mystic, which by the way, they're not legendary. And then maybe Tetsumasa, the Dragon's Fang. It's a 6 cost. Oh wait, no, it's a 2 cost. And then equipped creature gets +5/+5, and it only has an equip cost of 3. So whether it's a free equip or not, you could reasonably pay that, and you didn't have to pay the 6. So turn 1 Stoneforge, turn 2 drop it in for free, turn 3 equip it for 3, and then you've got a +5/+5. I mean, that's honestly a little bit too good. And then turn 4 Gulta. Okay, I don't know about that. So people, I mean, really? And by people, I mean subhuman apes that are in the MTG finance community that every time an unban comes around, they buy up 10 copies of Stoneforge Mystic just in case because, oh, they're so much smarter than everybody else. All the doubters saying no. I mean, it sounds like people who join like multi-level marketing. They're like, oh, all the haters just don't want me to be successful. They all say I'm wrong and that this is a dumb business decision. Yeah, that's because it is. And you got to be thinking, okay, nobody actually did this, right? Nobody actually bought up a bunch of copies of this again, right? Okay, I'm trying not to laugh here, but here's a graph from MTG stocks. It would appear that, yes, people have done this. Insert "I can't believe you have done this" meme here. I'm too lazy to go get it. I'm just going to impersonate it. I mean, it basically in a week went from like $25 to like $75 for like a day, and then it didn't get unbanned, and then I have really no explanation for why they claim it's still $50. I mean, it's not. It's actually $31 right now on eBay, and I figure in a week it'll probably be back to like $25. You know why? Because they didn't unban it. You know why? Because they'll never unban it. That's why they didn't unban it. It's really not difficult logic to follow. They are never banning this, okay? You can't have like a 9/9 on turn 3. You can't do that in Modern. That's too good. Yes, people run Path to Exile. That's not the point. It's too good. So is this the only time people have spiked the price by buying up every copy they can find because they are just so confident that it's going to get unbanned? No. At least since 2014, no. So, I mean, am I going to say, oh, this card will never be unbanned? They are never unbanning this card. They just unbanned Jace, okay? Waffles of the Toast could do literally anything. They are absolute lunatics over there. They are an unpredictable powder keg of crazy, and if they unban this tomorrow, I wouldn't even be surprised because it wouldn't even be the dumbest decision they've made in the last 10 years. But do I think they won't ever unban this? Yes, that would be my guess if I had to put money on it. Pun very much intended, seeing as how some investors, and I use that term pretty generously, literally put money on this going the other way. So, I mean, I don't think this is going to necessarily get a whole lot better in Legacy either, if that's what people are going to use as their excuse. Like, oh, I thought some awesome equipment was printed, so I thought this would become a bigger deck in Legacy. I don't really think so. I mean, that's not completely impossible, but it's such a long shot. I think even people saying that are just lying. They're just like, yeah, I want to hit the jackpot if this, becomes unbanned in Modern. And the funny thing is, their reasoning is, well, it always was about $25. It seems to be the normal price of it, maybe 20. Because, people play it. It's a good card, obviously, in other formats. It's fantastic. Their reasoning is, well, if it was unbanned in Modern, it would be just so broken and so overpowered, it would be the #1 best card in Modern. So I'm going to invest in it because it would hit $100 overnight. Okay, think about what you just said there, Mr. Genius Investor. It would be the most powerful, broken, overpowered card in Modern, and that's your reason for buying it in case they unban it. Now, I don't know if you realize this or not, but that's why they banned it. I mean, seriously, these moronic, long shot idiots who always think they're right and they're just like alpha investments wannabes let them lose all their money. Okay, it's not my money, it's not my problem. It's just I like to poke fun at these people because they're just so stupid and they always think they're right. They always go online and lie about their card collections. They spout off this nonsense and then disappear and delete their accounts when they like said this card's gonna spike, it's gonna go up, and then it never does, or this card's gonna get unbanned, it never does. These people are always wrong, they're always missing. And then, you know, if 9 out of 10 investments don't work and one does, they're gonna parade it around like they're, you know, like the Stephen Hawking of MTG card investing. Like, look at me, I made the best investment ever, and then they don't tell you about the other 9 they lost on, and it's like a net loss of like $1,000 still. Okay, if idiots like this, like I'm not making this video to like get them to stop. This video is honestly just letting you guys know, to have a little bit of a laugh, that people like this actually exist. And it really kind of hints at how toxic the MTG finance community can get, and a lot of the members are. And not to mention how clueless they are. But like I said, I'm not here to stop them. If you want to play, big Wall Street day trader, you want to pretend that's your thing, I mean, it's your money. I'll keep selling you copies of it. I've sold at least 12 of these in my lifetime. So by the way, FYI, for those of you who are not stupid enough to do this, if you have a stoneforge Mystic, sell it like a day before the next ban restricted announcement. So that's it for this video. Just keep in mind, if it does get unbanned like 10 years from now or something, don't point to this video and say, oh, Des was wrong. I left the door open for Wizards of the Coast to do some crazy shit, okay? I'm not saying it would never happen. I'm just saying it's probably never going to happen. So with that disclaimer in mind, I will see you guys next video.